Ski Horse Park with the Rolex Stadium here with Wally and Katie.
Hey guys!
We're excited to tell you about the Thoroughbred Makeover going on this weekend. I'm judging. Katie's been competing in eventing and field hunter. She's a one-star event rider, so we're excited for her to share with you guys some tips about competing and training. And I want to share with you guys my experience of judging this weekend at freestyle. What a different experience sitting on the other side of the bench. It's so interesting. I can understand it a lot better now being on that side. And a couple tips that I want to share with you guys. I'm going to share some clips at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around to the end of some of the things going on in my favorite freestyles or some of the unique things. But a big tip I have for you guys is music choice. It definitely made a big difference what people were doing for their music choices. Some of the guys that were choosing really slow music, really kind of quieter music, definitely not the same as the people that were more upbeat. So when it really made a difference. And actually one girl used the same song that I used last year, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I chose that for my song. It was too slow, it was not exciting enough. And when you're watching that many freestyles over the day, that music makes a big difference. You want it to flow with your routine, you want it to make sense with your routine, and you want to use it to kind of keep things alive, because we're sitting there all day watching routine after routine. So I can't stress that enough. Really think about the music, really think about how you're pairing that. And that kind of leads into my second tip, is really think about your flow. So there were a lot of people that were doing a lot of cool stuff, but they were kind of going from one thing and then they would kind of like transition and go do their next thing. And instead of making that transition smooth and like part of the routine and part of what they were doing, they just kind of like, it was just like they took their horse there. So it looked very disjointed. So they might be doing like a pedestal and then going over to play with some balloons, but they could at least go there with a nice rhythm, or they could go with a transition, or they could go with a nice contact or something. They could do it in some way rather than just making it look like I'm here and then I'm going there. You want to have flow. So the people who made it into the finals, their flow is pretty nice. Like you can tell the routine was well planned, and so I'm pretty excited for them tomorrow. And those are my tips for freestyle. And make sure you watch the clips at the end, because there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Thoroughbreds are pretty amazing horses. So Katie, why don't you share with us about your first makeover? You're a makeover virgin. She's a makeover virgin, guys. All right, so share with us your experience and a training tip for us.
So it was amazing to come here and compete with all of these thoroughbreds. Thoroughbreds are the best. I've been competing thoroughbreds since I've started eventing, and they're definitely my go-to breed. And I have to say, my biggest tip is just to stick to what you know, have a plan, and then just come and execute that plan. You know, I found I had a lot of second guessing coming in, like, will it be good enough? Will we be competitive? And I just stuck to what I know, or what I know, and we came and we actually did pretty well. And Wally was great, and I'm thrilled with him.
So for those of you guys that don't know, Wally is my horse. His name's Point Load is his registered name, and he was the horse that I did the Liberty Restart with. So last year in June, I got him off the track, and I decided to do my first ever Liberty Restart, where I took him off the track and I literally used no tools. I worked him in my 80x200 arena, and I didn't use any whips, I didn't use a round pen, I didn't use any neck rope, nothing. I used absolutely nothing, and I restarted him, and in less than 15 sessions, and it's all taped and online in the OTTV Liberty Restart course, I had him riding around, steering, stopping, and doing, you know, turns, everything. And I even took him off-site to a clinic that I did and did a demo and rode him there walk trot. So that was his restart experience. But then we realized that he had ulcers, and you know, he didn't like being scratched, so I wanted to treat him for that. So I decided not to take him to last year's makeover. I decided to let him wait, because I hadn't gone over the 15 retraining rides, which is the rule the makeover has, that a horse can, after their last race has to be within a certain time period, and they can't go over 15 retraining rides. So I decided to let him sit. We treated him with the Omega Alpha Regenerex product for ulcers, and put him on Biotic 8 and tried to get him healthy again, and just kind of left him, and I had my other horses for last year's makeover. And then started him back up in December, got him going under saddle, got him going over jumps. In the beginning, he was not confident. In fact, we have a video, if you look on his YouTube channel or his playlist, there's a video of him at one of his first off-site experiences with Franny, where there was this little tiny vertical, like really little, and he just couldn't do it, like was throwing a tantrum, couldn't do it. So Franny actually had to push the standard to lower it to like this high off the ground so he could go over it. So that's kind of how he started. And when I first went to go meet Wally, I didn't know I wanted to buy him because he was just loose in the arena and he was backing up his butt to horses on the outside of the arena, threatening to kick them, and was like bucking around and kicking around. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know that this is the horse I want for my first ever Liberty restart. And then I said to myself, Lindsay, you need to shut up. You never buy a horse, seen it before, so just buy him, because that's what you do. I never judge a horse's personality because you don't know what they're going to be like until you actually get them home and you settle them and you retrain them. So it's like, just buy him, just do it. So I did, and he turned out to be lovely. And so where we had him in his training is I had him going jumping about 2-6 courses. We were doing some practicing for Field Hunter at home, so he had done some gates, some riding in groups, but he had not done a lot of riding off-site yet. He had only done like a couple shows, and all of his training was without a bit, so he hadn't done any dressage training yet with a bit, and he had not done any cross-country. I don't think we'd done any cross-country, unless maybe it was like a little log out in the field or something, but nothing, no substantial cross-country training. And Franny decided to withdraw from the makeover because she wanted to focus on extreme cowboy racing. So in June of last year, I put a post out to Facebook looking for a trainer if anybody else's horse wasn't able to do it or something like that. And that's how I found Katie. And so she came, she saw him, she did a test ride, she did awesome. And basically gave her to him for the makeover. And Katie, why don't you tell us about your experience taking him over?
So he came to our farm and it was great because he was already so sensible and confident in his trainer that he was just such a pleasure to work with. Every day that I rode him, he got better and better. And every day that we introduced something new, he tried his heart out and just gave it his all. And honestly, I think he's probably one of the nicest horses I've had the pleasure of working with.
Awesome. And it's interesting you would say that because about what you're saying about how he was willing and he was already trusting his trainers, because that's a big part of the Harmony Horsemanship program. Is we go through the Harmony training continuum. The first one's calm connection, so getting the horses calm and relaxed with humans so they know they can trust humans. And the second one is a phase we called creating a yes horse, and that's where we condition horses to say yes. And I think it's good for you guys to hear about this because a lot of people will think that are performance people. Even though I do performance in Extreme Cowboy, there's a lot of people who think, oh, I don't have an interest in bridleless, or I don't have an interest in Liberty, or I don't understand why she works with horses with no tools, or I don't know why she's got to use all these props and things, like it seems gimmicky or whatnot. But I do that to put a really good foundation on horses, and so I think it's awesome that Katie, being a one-star event rider, can kind of say like, yeah, like this made a difference in the horse that I got and what you've been able to do with him. I think that's pretty awesome. And what was really nice about it is that Harmony Horsemanship has these exercises and things we do to set a horse up, but the philosophy that Katie uses is very similar to my philosophy in terms of if a horse is scared, she waits on them, and she believes in bringing them up slowly and exposing them and kind of assessing if a horse is ready or not and not over-facing them. So I think the combination of us together made a really kind of powerful impact for sure. I'm not sure if there's anything you want to add to that.
Well, I mean, all I can say is that I'm very happy with Wally, and I think Lindsay did a great job, and I think that her work has greatly contributed to what made this horse so trainable and lovely.
Awesome. All right, guys, so we're going to share with you some clips from the freestyle as well as Wally from his jumping and his stuff that he was doing this weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and enjoy these clips.
433. That I've always